Hey, my creative friends. My name is Shannon from shannonstudio.com, and we are here to talk about a creative life and maybe get some tips out of talking about a creative life so that we can do more creativeness in our life. Tons of benefits from doing that. So at this point in time, every time I look at any news, talk to any friends, look at any socials, there's a change in the COVID-19, the coronavirus updates. It's like every few hours it's changing up. Hey, Tricia, talking about the coronavirus because, yeah. So it's just changing, every few hours. And from the school, we're getting updates every day. So that's the way we are right now. And I mean, the memes are hilarious. I've seen memes all over the place. They're pretty hilarious. So I get a good laugh with that. But pretty much uncertainty reigns right now. Tricia says it's crazy here too. Yeah, it's uncertainty. Uncertainty reigns. I told you a little bit about that last night. They closed both schools that my daughters are going to college in 2 different states. And so, it's uncertain, the one is just like, yeah, she's married, she's like pregnant, and she's totally, it's like a little mini vacay. But the other one is just, she had plans. She, had 2 different paths she could have gone, and now neither one is happening. So it's just the whole uncertainty thing. But the thing is when you've been living a creative life, you are used to uncertainty. And I talked a little bit about that last night as well. But I wanted to just kind of talk about it a little bit more tonight. So I'm going to read a quote here. Okay, I'll just read it first. Wired to Create, he says, the study found that while most people say they feel positively toward creativity, when asked to judge this desirability of various ideas, they overwhelmingly reveal an implicit bias toward the practical over the novel. So in other words, they don't want the creative thing because creativity makes us uncomfortable. So they don't want anything new, anything novel, anything creative. So, and it happens all the time. People saying, oh, I value creativity. But then it's like, well, when you spring something creative on them, they're like, whoa, I don't see how that's going to work, and come up with all the negativity bias things that they can. In Everyday Creative, they say, he or she, I'm not sure. They say, when we try to control the uncertainty, we resign ourselves to old templates and often pessimism. We get stuck in repetition and stigmacy. See, that doesn't sound right. Being stagnant. So what happens is that when things get uncertain, we go to the certain, even in stronger ways. Hey, Jesse. So tell me, is your life uncertain right now? Like mine is. So what's going to happen is we are all uncertain. So we're going to try to grasp hold of those things that are most certain, that that are just like stable for us. And some of those things are good. Some of them are going to serve us well. But there are other things that are not going to serve us well. And you can see that playing out in social media, in conversations you overhear, in even talking to people yourself. You're going to find that some people are just, that we trying to control the situation, trying to control the not knowing what's going to happen. So like not knowing what's going to happen, and in order to control it, they say there's nothing happening. There's a lot of people, there's nothing happening, this is just all made up, it's crazy. Or then trying to control the uncertainty by going, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to buy all the toilet paper in the store, or I'm going to buy, all these things. And yes, that we should have certain things that we do just out of wisdom's sake, but when we just like go extreme, go nuclear on things, then then we are kind of feeding something, trying to make it a stable situation for us, at least in our minds. So a couple other things about the uncertainty is it's by nature. First off, we are highly resistant to adversity. Let me say that again. I'm going to read it this time. By nature, human beings are highly risk averse. We do not like the situation we're in. I know we talked about it. We were up in the middle of the night because we were talking to our kids, and then we sat and talked about it. Okay, what happens if this happens? What happens if they close their job? Because we're in a different country and they have a travel ban, and we could go on. So we're trying to risk assess and try to figure out what we're going to do. Another thing in Big Magic, she says, uncertainty is what we sign up for if we say we want to live a creative life. So if we've been living a creative life, we are familiar with uncertainty, and it shouldn't come as any surprise, and we should be kind of used to it so that we can start to come up with some creative ideas in these kind of situations. Well, we've never been in this situation, but in adverse situations. So I wanted to kind of point out a couple things that I've seen people who are being creative in this situation that we have going on. So one of them is my sister-in-law, Wendy, and I read one of her posts on Facebook, and she was like, anybody who, you can't miss work, or you're by yourself, or your kids are driving you nuts, or you need help, she says, my husband and I, we can help, we can feed your kids, we can watch your kids, we can, what does she say? We can help you, so you can go to work, and, just reach out to us. And I was like, how generous. When everybody's thinking about, do I have this? Do I have that? How can I stay away from people? And it's just, she switched it up. It's not how can I stay away from people, it's how can I help you? How can, let me help you. This is how I can help you. I'll do this and this and this. And I just thought, wow, that is not what you're seeing on social media for the most part. She is taking the uncertainty, or they are taking the uncertainty and just like blowing it away and saying, you know what, I'm going to reach out. And isn't it Mr. Rogers that says when these things happen, look for the helpers? So that was just like great to see that it was heartfelt, and I think she might have gotten it from somebody else too. So it might not be the first time somebody's brought that up, but it was the first time I saw it. And she's my sister-in-law, and I thought that was awesome. So also, we're across the ocean. And our kids, the one I'm most concerned about is our youngest one, because she's at college and she's not married. She doesn't, she has a social network, obviously. But, it's like if it goes, it goes sideways, who's going to watch out for her? Who's she going to be able to hang with so that she's taken care of? And that's it was a huge concern of mine, being so far away. And we, it's like she was uncertain what to do. She had two ways she wanted to do, and now her future is so unsure. And being younger, and uncertain, we're trying to grasp to try to make things work, and it just wasn't working for her. But what happened then is that we have some family friends back home who were on vacation out in Utah, and they texted her, Cassie, do you need a ride home? We'll be heading home shortly, because they're on vacation, and they left before this all started, and before it got kind of blown out. And I thought, reaching out, not waiting for the phone call, but just reaching out, again, a helper, trying to help in the situation. So then there's also this gal I follow. I met her at Quilt Market a couple of times, and she has had fabric collections. She's also has children's books that she and her husband write. They're Lola Dutch. Her newest one, I think, is Lola Dutch, I Love You So Much. Sarah Jane's Studio, I think, is her Instagram. Sarah Jane with an H, Studio. I think their last name is Wright. Yeah, Wright. So so she's into kids books, kids learning. They just started a new website, Raising Wonder, talking about raising kids and that sort of thing. So what she did, what I read today and got in my email today, was that she said to do daily printables of videos and online art lessons for kids during the duration. I mean, talk about these people are creative. They're taking the uncertainty of the situation and saying, thinking outside of the coronavirus box. They're deciding. So, yourself in a place where you feel comfortable, but it looks like I got cut on my... Every once in a while I glance over at myself and there's something there. Anyways, so what can you do? What have you seen? Have you seen some things like this? Share with us the things that you've seen going on and the helpers and the thinking outside of the coronavirus box. And, let us know, because that's encouraging and it helps us to say, what can I do? This has made me think, what can I do? And, am I doing anything? Do I need to do more than what I'm doing? And, it just made me think. It made me stop thinking about one thing and start thinking about something else. And creativity can do that for people. So what do you see going on around you in that light, in that kind of a positive light, in that kind of a helper light, in that kind of a, man, that's a creative idea, light. So share it with us. And if you decide to do something that's a little bit different to help those around you, share it with us. So the tip is to think outside the coronavirus box. I don't know if I'll put that at the top, but you understand what I'm saying. That's taking uncertainty and don't let it uncertainty control us, but we can kind of control pushing uncertainty aside while we use our creative abilities to do some different things to help. So that's the tip for tonight. And remember, you have a creative heartbeat, so listen for it. Listen for what you can do. Listen for how your creativity speaks to you and how it moves you to action. So I will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday. So I will be back with spirituality and creativity tomorrow. And I will see you then. Bye.